just after the session or may not be, I will be available. I just want to confirm my doubt whether I'm right or wrong. I don't know. I just want to ask you the suggestion and as well as to proceed to my career.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, I'm a completely different background which we am going to join now. I was a
Okay.
private teacher. Can I move to this field or not? I'm not able to get a confirmation.
Okay.
I can get
So
the
to answer,
opportunity or not.
okay. So to answer all your questions, someone else also had that he's from different background, right? So to answer all your questions, let me put it in this way. So CPI, basically, there is no need for you to have any prior knowledge on any integration or any SAP to learn CPI. If you are a fresher or if you are an any experienced person in any other domain, or if you are an experienced person in any other SAP module, it doesn't matter what you are. If you are learning CPI for the first time, everyone is same. Okay, so anyone can learn CPI. There's it's not mandatory to have any prior SAP knowledge or any any prior integration knowledge if you want to learn CPI. There's nothing like that. You can learn CPA as a fresher, or you can learn CPA as a newbie where you want to learn CPA, where you want to change your domain completely. Okay, learning CPI, we will teach you each and everything from basics, so that you will be in a position to answer any kind of any sort of technical questions that you face across your interviews. Okay, for any CPA interviews. At the same time, you have to learn, or you have to work, you have to do hands-on sessions along with me during our regular sessions on daily basis, so that you will understand the concepts, how it works. Okay, as you are a fresher or as you are a newcomer who is learning CPA and started and willing to start working on it, you won't be having any real-time experience, to be frank. Okay, so you should be in a position to answer how that functionality works, so that the person who interviews you will understand, okay, this person knows a basic understanding or functionality of that activity or task, how it works, and then you will be in a position to work on actual requirements also. Okay, so to answer your question, yes, you can learn CPI. There's nothing like you should be having any prior knowledge, nothing like that. You can learn, but at the same time, by looking at the current market, there are opportunities for CPI consultants, PI and CPI consultants. If you want to come into integration space, so there are opportunity for CPI alone also. Okay, because most of the customers are moving to cloud platform nowadays, so there are openings for CPI consultants. But at the same time, if you are good at CPI, then definitely you will get an opportunity, and then you can continue on this skill going forward.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable information from your side.
Yeah. So my suggestion is, it's not only about attending the classes and then going through the sessions. It's all about hands-on that you do.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally depends upon the new knowledge which I have to work hard
Yeah.
more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay then. So I'll continue with my session today. So I welcome you all once again for today's session. So today we are going to learn about or know about CPI. So what is CPI, and why we have this in the market, and why it is useful for us, and what is the benefits of CPI when compared to other middleware tools. All these things we'll see what are the functionalities of it. So first thing first, CPI, it's an cloud-based middleware tool, which we call it as a cloud platform integration, okay, which is provided to us by SAP. So it's a cloud-based middleware tool provided to us by SAP. Okay. So as part of these sessions, we are going to learn, as I said, we will try to teach you this CPI in an simple and easy manner so that you will be able to understand each and everything because we will try to teach you right from basics. Okay. And we are also going to have hands-on sessions on daily basis. So for each and everything, each and every concept that we are going to discuss, we will be having hands-on sessions so that you also should practice the same from your end, and we can have if you have any doubts, we can have that clarified in the next session. Okay. Yeah. So what is CPI? CPI is a cloud platform integration tool which is provided to us by SAP, and it's a cloud-based tool which is nothing but we call this a CPI as a SaaS. SaaS is nothing but software as a service. Okay, what do you mean by software as a service? It means SAP is providing particular platforms or softwares as a service. As a service in the sense, it's something like you will go and then you will pay for it and then you will use it and then you will come. That's it. It's like okay, I'll give you that example later. So software as a service where customers can use this software and then subscribe to this, use it, and then for their requirements. Okay. So to explain you in a much better way, for suppose you want to watch a movie, what you will do, you will go to a movie theater, you will buy a ticket, watch a movie, and then come to your home, right? So here also it's a similar to that where SAP is providing you this service CPI, okay? Where previously in the other case, that movie theater, the owners of that theater will be providing you that service, right? Where you can buy a ticket and then watch that movie. So similarly here also, customers who wants to use this service in their landscape, okay, so they can go to SAP, they can request or subscribe to this service. Okay, so where customers will pay some amount on a yearly subscription basis. Okay, and then they will get the necessary access so that they can use these CPI in their landscape for all the interface executions. Okay, so that they can develop the interfaces and all these things, right? So it's simple. It's similar to what you will do when you go to movie or when you buy something from Amazon or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, so that's it about CPI, which is a brief overview about CPI, where it is a cloud platform integration tool. Okay, and it is provided to us by SAP, and mainly it is hosted on a cloud servers. Okay, so generally, if you are from like to if you're from any SAP background, you might be aware that all these PI servers or PO servers or any SAP server, these are hosted in the customer network. Okay, which is nothing but your on-premise network. Okay, where the installation and everything happens inside the customer network, which is nothing but on-premise, where customer is responsible for maintaining each and everything when it comes to that particular application or server. Whereas as these CPI or cloud applications, not only about CPI, any cloud application, whether it is in CPI, SuccessFactors, Concur, Ariba, anything it can be, all these cloud applications are hosted on a cloud server. Okay, anywhere Australia, Europe, Singapore, any these servers are hosted in the data centers that are located in any of these regions. So as these servers are hosted on the cloud servers, or these applications are hosted on the cloud servers, these are not maintained by customers. This is the main advantage of cloud applications, where there is a lot of advantage for customer, where there is a lot of cost reduction in terms of maintaining the application, or in terms of configuring it, or in terms of upgrades or patches. If they want to do anything, there is no need for customer to do anything. Everything will be taken care by SAP. Okay, so CPA supports many adapters when it comes to communication with any application. CPA is capable of integrating with SAP and non-SAP applications. Okay, so CPA is capable of integrating with SAP and non-SAP and capable of integrating with cloud and on-premise also. So when we say multiple applications, there might be applications which will accept data in JSON format, XML, or encrypted format, or encrypted in a specific format by like a base64 RSA, okay, or any other algorithm. Or a flat file, anything it can be. CPI is capable of communicating with these applications in any one of these formats. Okay, and also CPI is capable of communicating with both SAP, on-premise and cloud applications. Okay, so there are multiple adapters that are available in CPI, like SuccessFactors. Like they're ready adapters for you. Ready in the sense, for suppose previously when we want to communicate with SuccessFactors, either we had to use a HTTP adapter or we had to use a SOAP adapter. But nowadays we have SuccessFactors adapter that and that's an that's an adapter that is available for us, which is mainly used for SuccessFactors communication. So like that, we have out of the box adapters that are available for us, which can be used mainly for a specific applications like Kafka adapter. We have AWS adapter. We have SuccessFactors adapters. We have ODed adapters. We have open connectors, or we have adapters such as a process direct, which will be used to communicate within iFlows inside your tenant. So all these things are capable so that you can design your iFlows in a much better way using CPA when compared to other middleware tools. Okay. Types of integration scenarios, as I said, CPI supports both the on-premise and cloud integrations. At the same time, it supports both the standard and custom iFlows. So what is a standard and what is a custom? I'll explain you after some time. Yeah. Uh, so how you can develop your interfaces using CPI? Earlier, we used to use Eclipse to connect to our CPI tenants and access the CPI tenant using Eclipse, and then design the iFlows. But later, SAP developed its own tool called WebID or Web UI, where we can connect it to that Web UI and then develop our scenarios. Okay, so maybe today, if possible, or else tomorrow, I will show you how that Web UI looks, so that you will understand what are the components that are available inside that Web UI, and what is the purpose of each and every component, what we will do. All these things we'll see later. So the main one of the other major advantage of CPI is pre-packaged integration content. So what do you mean by this? So pre-packaged integration content is nothing but scenarios or artifacts or iFlows that are developed by SAP or any other organization. Okay, so let me give an example. Let us assume that you are working in any organization, and as an employee you will be having benefits such as insurance, or you'll be having monthly pay, or where your company has to run the payroll for you, where they have to calculate your leaves, your holidays, your comp of anything it can be, right? So they have to calculate everything. They have to calculate your on-call allowance or extra time that you've worked. Everything they have to calculate and pay you accordingly. Okay, so let us think once. Is this a common? Is this a specific scenario to your organization, or is this a common across all the organizations? This is common across all the organizations, right? Where employees might work overtime, or employees will be having specific holidays, or employees they have to calculate their payroll according to the days they have worked. All these things will come into picture, right? This is a common scenario across all the organizations. So when you have such common scenario, what SAP have took an initiative is, so whatever the scenarios that are common across all the industries or all the organizations, they have tried to prepare a few artifacts or few iflows which will address that common scenario. Okay, so it doesn't matter what is the company or what is the organization that you are. So to address that specific scenario, SAP has developed a standard flow. Okay, by considering all the necessary scenarios that come into picture for that standard flow, SAP has already developed it. Okay, so now if you really want to utilize, or if you really want to implement that specific scenario in your landscape or in your organization, then what you can do, SAP has already developed that particular scenario, right? And it is made available for us as part of this prepackaged integration content in our CPI. So now what you can do, you can utilize that or you can reuse that prepackaged content or any that specific scenario, and then you can copy that specific scenario into your tenant, and then you can start using it. Where if you see the advantages of doing this is, it will, as a developer, it will save a lot of time for you, because no need for you to create any object from scratch, because it is already developed. Okay, only thing is you just have to copy and configure it with your uh, environment specific details, whether it can be your URL details, environment specific URL access details. All these things has to be configured. Apart from this, no need to do anything else for you, because everything else is already developed for you. Okay, so like this, there are many other organizations along with SAP. There are many other organizations like FIGA, Deloitte, Rojo Consultancy, many other many other organizations where they have developed such standard scenarios and made them available for us, so that we can use them. Okay, so this is the major advantage of using CPA, where you have the chance of reusing the existing scenarios for your integration purpose. Okay. Okay. So as I said, CPI is capable. CPI is capable of integrating with on-premise and cloud applications, right? So when we say that, sorry, yeah, yeah, yeah. So CPI is capable of integrating with on-premise. Either it can be your on-premise SAP application or on-premise file servers or any other servers. It can be, or on-premise database servers, and it is capable of integrating with cloud applications also, where it is capable of integrating with cloud applications such as SuccessFactors, Ariba, Concur, or any other non-SAP such as cloud file server, or AWS, Azure DevOps, anything it can be. Okay, at the same time, it can integrate with your social networking apps such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, or any other apps such as Teams, Slack, any other tools, anything it can be. Okay, Zira, or ServiceNow, anything it can be. It is capable of integrating with any of these applications. Okay, most of the cases, if you are from like if you're working for any educational organization, like such as for suppose if you're working for Andhra University or any university it can be. So there are cases where the university wants to so university as a client, so client wants to integrate their client wants to integrate to have the interfaces developed with social networking apps such as Facebook or Twitter, so that their students can post something or integrate their accounts with their um, um, pages, Facebook pages or Twitter pages, so that they can post anything. So like that, there are few scenarios where you can integrate your CPI with Facebook or Twitter, like that. Okay. As I said, um, If you want, as a customer, if you want to use CPI, you have to do it on a subscription model basis where you have to approach SAP and then get the necessary subscription for your CPI according to the environments that you want. You can get the necessary tenants or sub accounts. Okay, so if you want, by default, all the cloud applications will be having two tenants, or it's a two-tier architecture. One is test and one is production, or you can say it as one is non-production and one is production. So when I say non-production, you can use it for development environment, or you can use it for test. Anything it can be. It depends on customer, but all are same. Whereas you can have another environment such as production. There are cases where customer wants to have specific development and specific test or specific quality and specific production. In that case, they have to purchase additional sub accounts from SAP, which might charge more for them depending on the number of sub accounts they want to subscribe. Okay, so any customer, if they wants to use this CPI, they have to subscribe to this service from SAP, which is an SaaS application for us, software as a service. So they can, once they subscribe, they can start using it. Okay, next. As I said, whenever customer subscribe to this service, do customer needs to do anything to maintain these applications? No. Customer needs to do customer needs to do any application updates or software updates? No. And customer needs to do take care of any downtimes for these applications? No, because all these things, whether it can be on software upgrade or patch update or anything like a downtime or anything like maintenance, everything, it will be maintained by SAP only. Okay, SAP is responsible for maintaining your CPI tenants. Okay, or your cloud application. Okay, whatever the subscription that you took, SAP is responsible for maintaining that. Okay, from their end. Okay, so there is no need for you as a customer to do anything for that particular application. If you see that your interfaces are not working or your CPI tenant is down, you can directly raise a ticket to SAP and get the necessary information why it is down and why what is the root cause for it. Moreover, no need for you to go to SAP if there is any issue or if there is any upgrade that is going to happen in the next coming weeks. If there is any disruption in the server, cloud server, or if there is an issue with the cloud server, SAP itself will send an email notification to the customer account, so that customer is aware what's happening with that particular account. Okay, so yeah, so we discussed about prepackaged content. We'll see about what is camel notations in the later sessions. So as I said earlier, we used to use Eclipse, but now we use WebID to develop our interfaces. So we call these artifacts or iflows. Artifact is of multiple types, different types. One of them is iflow, which is nothing but your actual interfaces that you develop. So we'll see how do we develop those iflows. What are the ways for you to develop the iflows? All these things we will learn in the coming sessions. Okay. Basically, in any of the application, most of the times, or some of the applications, there is a need for you to write some code. Okay, so we have that scope in CPI also. In CPI, there is a scope of writing some piece of code that can be done in two options. One is Groovy and one is JavaScript. Okay, CPI supports both Groovy scripting and JavaScript based coding for you, so that whichever is comfortable for you, you can write the code accordingly. But 99% of the time, people will choose a Groovy when compared to JavaScript, because the way how it executes. Okay, Groovy script is much better than JavaScript in terms of memory consumption, in handling the payloads during runtime. Everything is much better when compared to JavaScript. Okay, it consumes less memory. That's why people will try to use a Groovy script when compared to Java. Okay, if they want to write some piece of code inside a CPI. Okay, so why memory consumption is really important for us? Because in any of the application, that application will be having a certain memory. Okay, either it can be 32 GB or 50 GB or 1 TB or anything it can be. Mostly CPI will be having a space of around 32 GB like that. Okay, so whatever the message execution that happens or whatever the memory, everything will be consumed out of the 32 GB only. So whenever you develop an interface, make sure that you develop that in an see, developing interface is not an issue, but developing that interface efficiently, that makes a difference from you as a good developer and from other normal developers. Okay, as a developer, as an integration consultant, it is your responsibility to make sure that you design the interfaces in a much better or much better performance oriented way, so that there won't be any impact on the application based due to the interfaces that you're developing. Okay, yeah. So what are we going to learn as part of these sessions? So we will learn the basics of the integrations. Okay, what kind of integrations that we can do? What are the adapters that we use for those integrations? What is the configurations that we have to do for those adapters? Whether it can be HTTP, file-based adapters, or SFTP or FTP, SOAP or OData, SuccessFactors, IDOC, RFC, we are going to discuss about all these adapters and their configurations also, and we will go through all the palette functions. Okay, there are multiple palette functions that are available for us, so we will go through all the palette functions according to the category, and then see the functionality of each and every palette function and how it works. Okay, at the same time we will work on both standard and custom flows. So we will see how to utilize the standard flows. At the same time we'll see how to create a custom flows from scratch. Okay, so we'll be having one or two hands-on session on Groovy script. So where we will try to understand and learn how to write a Groovy script outside your message mapping, and how to write Groovy script inside your message mapping. What are the different ways for you to write a Groovy script? Okay, how do we handle body? How do we handle headers? How do we handle properties? All these things we will learn using Groovy script. Okay, and this is out of the concepts like so we will have, if time permits, we will have one session on overview about what is API management, what are the other tools that are available for you to integrate with CPI. Okay, yeah. So as I said, so all the upgrades, support, everything will be taken care by SAP itself. So no need for you to worry about that. So time to implement will reduce depending on the kind of scenarios that you are doing in CPA. So CPI, when compared to other tools, it will give you more options for you to integrate, or more options for you to implement security, so that your data is secure when you are trying to communicate with other third party servers. Okay, so we can do real time integration scenarios where your data is processed real time, and you can get the response immediately from your receiver. All these things can be done. Yeah, so this is the architecture for your CPI, where you can see CPI, it is hosted on your cloud server. Okay, this is your cloud server, which is where your CPI is hosted, and CPI comes with your prepackaged flows, and community and marketplace is nothing but you can get any kind of information about this tool in your marketplace or a community, where there are your our SAP community is huge, where you can get many suggestions or information about these tools or any other tool from the community. Okay, and it supports a multi-level security, where you can apply security at the data level, or you can apply security at the network level, or anything it can be done. Okay. At the same time, if you can see here, CPI is capable of integrating with on-premise applications here. Okay, so it can integrate with on-premise SAP, or it can integrate with on-premise third-party applications also. Okay, at the same time, it can integrate with cloud applications, either SAP cloud applications or non-SAP cloud applications also. It is capable of integrating with any sort of application. It can be either it is on-premise or cloud, or SAP or non-SAP. Okay. And how it works in both ways. Either you, if you want to connect from CPI to any of these applications, or if you want to have communication established from any of these applications to CPI, it works in both ways. Okay, so yeah, initially when we got this tool into market, we used to call it as a HCI, HANA Cloud Integration, and later it has been renamed as a CPI. Now we call it as a CI, okay, which is nothing but cloud integration. Okay, yeah. So, so these are the on an overview. So these are the major functionalities or capabilities or advantages of using CPA, where you can see here we can integrate with on-premise applications. We can integrate with public authorities. Public authorities is nothing but government servers or government websites or government authorities. Okay, where there are cases where customers wants to integrate their servers with the corresponding government authorities to do some invoicing with respect to tax, right? So everyone has to pay some tax. So in that case, customers, some of the organizations, they want to develop some interfaces where they can integrate their applications with the corresponding government authorities, so that they can send the corresponding tax related information to the government servers. Okay, for suppose in India we have a GST, okay, goods and service tax, right? So where SAP specifically for India, SAP has developed a few scenarios which are available for us as part of a prepackaged integration content, where customers can use those scenarios which are useful for GST invoicing, so that customer can use those scenarios in their landscape in CPI to push some data from their CPI to government, corresponding government authorities, to send the corresponding invoice data on monthly basis, like that. Okay, so like that, not only for India, SAP has developed these standard scenarios for Spain, Brazil, Europe, all these countries. We have such standard scenarios. Okay, so to integrate with the government authorities. At the same time, we can integrate with social networking apps such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. All these things can be integrated with CPI. Okay. Mobile applications also can be used integrated with the CPI, where we can integrate the CPI with mobile applications such as Fieri apps. Okay, where other that's another skill set completely, where they'll develop from few mobile applications such as iOS apps or anything like that, and you can integrate this CPI using those apps. Okay, and CPI is capable of integrating with business partners, which is nothing but your EDI communications. Okay, where you want to communicate with specific business partners using specific EDI formats like ANSI or XI. So there are a few formats like that. You can integrate with those partners using CPI. Okay, at the same time, we can integrate with using CPI. We can integrate with cloud applications also. Okay, uh, so yeah, any questions till now?
So, Seven, there are a lot of integration tools in the market. So, what is it
Hmm.
making different, the cloud integration piece by itself?
Okay, so as I said, CPA as an integration tool, there are many integration tools in the market such as Delboomi, Axway, MuleSoft. All these are all the middleware tools that you have in the market which can be used. But as I said, CPA comes with pre-packaged integration content where it will have a lot of advantage when you start using CPI because it will save a lot of time for you as a developer. There are cases where for some of the customers where we support, none of the interface is a customized flow which we developed from scratch. All the interfaces are standard interfaces only, where it saved a lot of time and amount money for customer in terms of developer efforts. Okay, there is no need for a customer to pay anything for a developer. Just they want to configure the existing scenarios which are already developed by SAP or any other organization. They just want to reuse it. That's it. Okay, so if you see, there is no such option for any other middleware tool in the market. Okay, which will support integrations for you. Okay, so that's a major advantage. At the same time, as an SAP tool, it will be very easy for you to integrate with other SAP tools that are available in the market or any cloud or non-SAP also. That is very easy. And then because it forms an homogeneous environment for you to integrate with other SAP tools also. And other advantages are like it comes with out of the box you have many adapters which are supported by SAP like SuccessFactors, OData. All these adapters are available for you. Okay,
So we have
so
all
which
SAP products, so technically
yeah,
we'll be
yeah,
having
lot
connectivity. I
of
understand
yeah,
that.
yes, yes, yeah. So
I
that's
understand
why.
that. So coming to the
Okay.
customization, you said we can
Hmm.
use Groovy or
Hmm.
iFlows or whatever the tools it is. So how much customization do you foresee going forward? For example, if the business partners who are integrating the data, they need
Hmm.
different kind of formats, right? Some might use only CSV, some might use only XML,
Hmm.
some might use
Hmm.
ADFACT or something like that,
Hmm.
or ANSI12
Hmm.
or X12 standards, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I know CA supports everything, but at the same time, from the customization perspective, what is the level of customization we are talking about? Do we have kind of underlying database level customizations, or only at the other end, wherein change of the format of the files like that?
We don't do any customizations at the database level. It's all about data that you are trying to process. Okay. So whatever the data that you receive from your sender or any other application, if you want to do some customization on it, you can do any sort of customization on top of the data. It can be either if you want to transform the data into an XML or a JSON or any specific EDI or ANSI format, anything it can be done, or a flat file, anything it can be done. Or if you want to pass the data and extract some part of the data and process it further, or if you want to do a multicast where you can send the data to multiple branches or multiple receivers, any sort of customization can be done inside your CPI. Okay,
So can you give me
so
one example where you did some customization to the data?
yes. So you will be receiving, for suppose, there are cases where
Let's look at your
we,
kind of an outbound, like you're sharing an XML file with your trading partner. So if you end up doing customization, can you give me one example?
yeah. So give me an example like for suppose you are retrieving some employee information from your SuccessFactors application. Okay, where you will retrieve the corresponding employee information, where you will receive the employee information such as what is the how many employments the does that employee have, and then what is the corresponding bank information for each and every employee. Okay, let me give an example like this. Discord. Okay. Suppose you are trying to retrieve data for EMP 123 where he is having employment 1, employment 2, and employment 3. Okay, so in this case, you want to retrieve the data complete information about this employee. Okay, so for each
Mm-hmm.
employment, you'll be having bank information also maintained in SuccessFactors. Okay, so what is the employment? Okay, and what is the working for that particular employment? For this particular employment, he might be working as an part-time lecturer, where he might be working as on alternate days for 2 hours on alternate days to teach something as a part-time lecturer in that organization, like that. Okay, and for this employment, he might be working as an examiner. Okay, or exam like they will go for validations right during examination, so he might be working as like that. So for this employment he might be working as a regular employee. So for each employment, the pay will be different, right? Because the pay across all these employments will not be the same. So for each employment, the pay will be different. So, and what employees generally will do is, not in India, in other countries, they have the option to maintain bank information at each employment level. So they might maintain bank information as a check here, where they might want to receive the amount or the pay in terms of check. For this, they might be configuring it with some bank details. Okay, bank one. Okay, they might be configuring it with some bank details as bank two. But generally, ideally, what we will do is, if an employee update their bank information um, with any of the latest information, like for suppose if I update my bank information for employment one with as a my bank as access. Okay, I'll take it as example. So I have updated this as an my current bank information across against this employment. So this is a delta change that has been done. So there is a latest change that has been done across this employment. So what we will do is we'll try to fetch the delta information, so that whatever the changes that has been done against this employee, we will try to fetch that, and we will see what is the information that has been changed. So this is the bank information that has been changed. So this scenario is all about bank details replication, where whatever the bank details that has been updated by any employee or by any employee in their profile, we would like to update that bank information across all other employment, so that all the pay that we are trying to do will be done for the same bank account across the employments. So that's the scenario what we will do, so that we will try to extract the information of this new bank information that employee has maintained, and we will try to offset the same information against these employments. Okay, so that we will extract all the information of that employee, and then we will pass that information and try to understand when the data has been modified. So for each employer, for each information, when you modify this, we'll be having last modified date. Okay, whether this last modified date is the latest one or not across the employments. So which one is the latest one? If this is the latest one, or this one, or this one. So we'll see the latest one, and then we will consider this as a latest record. And then once we consider this as the latest record, then we will update this information across the other employments. This is a level of customization that you can do when you are dealing with any such employment information. So depending on the requirement, it varies what kind of customization that you're doing. There are cases where no need for you to write any single line of Groovy script inside your iFlows. So there are cases where you can write you can develop your interfaces without any Groovy script also. And there are cases where you might have to do some Groovy script, which is a basic one, like handling headers or handling properties, or such basic Groovy script to handle some headers and all these things. Okay, or there are cases where you can write a Groovy script to parse the XML data or any such activities. So when it comes to writing Groovy script inside your iFlows, it all depends on the requirement that you are handling. Okay, it's not like application specific. It's all about the requirement that you're trying to handle or trying to develop. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah. So inside CPI, as I said, there are multiple components inside CPI, right? So what are those components? Inside your CPI tenant, you have a design component, you have monitor component, you have discover component. All these things are available for you. What do you mean by it? As part of design component, we will try to develop the interfaces that you want to run in your environment. Okay, whatever the interface that you want to develop or that you want it to run, you have to develop that or you have to create it as part of your design. Okay, or else if you are trying to use any standard one, it should be made available as part of your design component, then only it will be available for you to get executed inside your tenant. Okay, and monitor, it will help you to monitor the interfaces. It's not about developing the interfaces, it's also about monitoring it, right? How that is working, whether there are any successful or failure messages, if it is getting failed, why it is getting failed. We have to do all such activities, right? So we will see how well we can do monitoring using CPI. What are the multiple options for us to do monitoring, and what are the things that we need to keep in mind while doing monitoring. And I'll try to teach you how to read the error information and how to understand what is the error and why it is occurring. Okay, for any for some of the specific errors that we face, because while we try to do hands-on, we will say we'll face a lot of errors, and we will try to go through those errors and understand why it is occurring. Okay, and at the same time, you have a discover component which will help you to go through the existing prepackaged content. So this prepackaged content is an continuous evolving one, where SAP or any other organization will be keep on providing updates or keep on providing new prepackaged content on daily basis or weekly or monthly basis, so that every day or every week we'll be having new content that is made available for us as part of this discover tab. Okay. Yeah, so as part of these sessions, we are going to have, along with these functionalities in CPI like adapter configurations or palette functions, we are going to discuss about real-time scenarios, where we are going to discuss about S4 integrations, and we are going to discuss about success factors integrations. We are going to discuss about OData integrations and API based integrations also. We'll see, so that we will try to implement a few real-time scenarios. When I say real-time, we'll try to implement few scenarios with some applications or any third-party servers that are available for us, so that we will try to integrate with them and then fetch the data or to post some data. Okay, so that you will understand how the scenarios will be developed with applications. At the same time, when we try to develop an interface, what are the things that we need to keep in mind as an integration developer? What are the things, what are the checklist that you need to keep in mind to implement that interface? Okay, so there are few things like what is your sender, what is your receiver, what are the formats or what are the protocols that your sender or receiver support, so that you can communicate with them accordingly, how they want to receive the data or how they will push the data, what is the schema, what is the structure of the data that you want to process. So all these things will come into picture, where we will see one by one. When we want to develop any sort of interface, we will see how these interfaces has to be developed by keeping all these checklists in mind. Okay, we'll try to consider all these checklists for each and every scenario, so that it will be easy for you to understand them and it will be easy for you to work on them going forward. Okay, so these are the key learnings for you from our sessions. So where we'll see both custom and standard iFlow developments. We'll see S4 integrations. We'll see prepackaged developments also. At the same time, we'll see using the prepackaged content as it is. At the same time, we'll see how we can customize, how we can add additional customizations on the standard content that is available for us. So there are cases where you might have to add some additional customization on the top of the standard content. So how we can do that? So we'll see all those things. So we'll see integrations with some third-party applications or SAP applications using adapters such as SOAP, REST, OData, Mail, SFTP, Process Direct. All these things we'll see. All these adapter configurations we'll see in our regular sessions. we'll be having hands-on session, and then we'll see how to process the data using these adapters. So we'll be having hands-on session on SuccessFactors integrations. We'll be having overview session about Groovy script, and then we'll try to write some Groovy script, and then see how it works. Okay, inside message mapping and outside message mapping also. So we'll use OData services to integrate third-party OData services, and then we'll try to read some data from the OData service or fetch some data and then post some data to the OData service also. Okay, so these are the key learnings for you, which will help you to understand basic concepts about CPA and try to understand how the all these functionalities work in CPA and start developing interfaces using your CPA tenants. Okay, so basically these are the two questions that I'm face in any of the sessions. Is there any prerequisite for you to learn CPA? No, no need for you to have any pre-domain knowledge like integration knowledge or any other SAP knowledge. No need for you to have. If you are in new to this integration space, yes, you can learn CPA. But as I said, it's not about only learning. It's all about the hands-on that you do with this tool. So the more hands-on that you do, the more you will understand the concepts, and the more failures you might face, and you will understand how to overcome those failures or how to resolve those failures, so that you will understand how that functionality actually works. Okay, and what about the access? CPI access, it's a free for you, where we can create our own CPI tenant access, trial tenant access for free for a period of a year. So the access that you try to create will be available for you for a year. Okay, and no need to pay anything for it. And we'll be having a complete session on how to create your CPI tenant access in the next coming session, maybe second or third session. We'll be on creating our own CPI tenant access for all of us. Okay, yeah. So that's it from my end. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them.
Hi, Sean. This is Ramesh.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
regarding formats, SAP CPI, will it support PDF format? And how is the
Yes.
market in the current scenario? And is there any other competitive tools of SAP CPI, something like cloud tools? And coming to CPI, will you cover trading partner management? Because I have gone through some websites. There is a trading partner management. Will you cover that topic? Could you please
No,
suggest?
we don't cover trading partner management. So the topics that we cover is all about basic functionalities that are available in CPI, which are out of the box functionalities. We will try to cover them, which are like OData integrations, IDOC, SuccessFactors integrations, SFTP, FTP, SOAP, HTTP. All these integrations we'll try to cover. Whereas when you say trading partners or EDI, that's an additional functionality which is not out of the box, where you have to add some components on the top of CPI to get that, which is not available for us as part of trail tenant, and which is not a common across all the customers. So that's why which are also to teach them, that's a different concept altogether again, which might take additional sessions also. So as part of
Okay.
this, we will try to teach you everything apart from EDI and all these things. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And to answer your other questions, yes, there are opportunities for CPA consultant right now in the market. Market is good. There are calls for CPA consultants if you want to pursue your career in this space. Okay. And what
Okay.
are your other questions?
Regarding, will it support PDF format?
Yes, it supports PDF. Using CPI, you can fetch any PDF file and then process that data to your receiver as an body or as an attachment. Anything can be done for you. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
No.
Shravan, let me ask you one question. So I know SAP there are a lot of integration consultants. So what is it making different for CPI when compared to those integration consultants? Because when we are getting into the market, it's already having a lot of people in the market, right? So we are trying to compete with experienced resources over there,
Hmm. Okay,
right?
I'll answer your question. If you take as an integration consultant, CPI is in the market from past 6 years, 6 to 7 years now. But even though it's in market from past 6 to 7 years, people started using it from the past 3, 4 years. Okay, most of the customers. So before that, we don't have CPI. We had only PIPO or XI. Even though we had XI from 2009 and onwards, or 2010 or 2009, okay, you can take. So we have a lot of people that came into who learned PIPO and started working on it. So there are huge number of integration consultants in the market. Before CPI came into market, there are huge number of integration consultants who are actually working on PIPO, and most of the customers are having PIPO in the landscape. Even though there are many consultants, there is a scope for you, because even every now and then people will shift their jobs from one organization to other. So if you are leaving your organization, there is a chance for someone else to fill that space, right? At the same time, if you talk in terms of billing, when it comes to organization, it's all about how much billing that organization is making and how much billing they are doing in terms of resources. There are cases where you might be having a senior resource, you might be who is at architect level, you might be having a resource at senior developer, or you might be having resource at associate, you might be having resource at intern, right? For each person the billing will be different. At the same time, if you are really from if you understand these concepts from billing perspective, people or organization thinks that instead of having a solution architect, or yes, they want to have a solution architect for that particular project, but instead of having multiple senior consultants or multiple high level architects or multiple high level resources, they would like to have medium level resources whose billing is far less than when compared to them, because at the end of the day they want to save a lot of money for the company, which will which they can show it as a profit for them. Even though they bill the customer with the same amount, they want to show it as a profit, because the amount of pay that they do for a senior architect and for you, it might be different. Because if my team is having four medium level resources and one senior solution architect, the billing will be different when compared to other team which is having four senior level architects on one medium resource. Billing will be more in other team when compared to my team. So that makes a difference in terms of resources also. So if you say, if you are a newcomer to CPI, don't think that you won't be having any opportunity. There is opportunity for newcomers who are having 1 or 2 years experience or a fresher. There is an opportunity for medium level resources, or there is an opportunity for senior resources also. So when you are working any project, don't think that all the resources will be senior. So they will try to keep the resources as a mix. So in junior level, senior level, and architect level also. Okay. Did I answer your
That
question?
no, that again goes back to so many different things, because once you gain a lot of experience, you will become a senior resource.
Yeah.
Now you'll be getting rid of yourself, and companies will be hiring the low level candidates, right? So once again,
So see, whatever I teach you in these sessions, that's not all about CPA. Okay. There are many other things which you have to learn inside CPA going forward. Our SAP is providing you many other new options day by day for you to learn. So this integration space is not a stagnant one. It's a daily learning thing, which even I have to learn new things on daily basis. When it comes to integration, it's not only about CPI. We have a PIPO, we have
I,
CPI, we
I,
have
I understand. It depends on the suite of products you're working on. For example, if you're working in the finance domain, the suite of products will be different. If you're working on HR, it will be different.
yeah.
If
For
you're working on
CPI,
supply
for
chain, it will be different.
integration, for
I totally
integration.
understand that.
Okay, what do you want to know?
No, the only thing is, yeah, as I said, more people will come into the market because
Hmm.
everything is moving into cloud and more
Hmm.
resources will be getting into the cloud, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just worried
Okay.
about the nature of
Okay.
the,
No. Okay, no need
I
for you
mean,
to
the
worry, because
competition.
right now in the market, when you say when you see the customers that are in the market which are using SAP middleware tool in their landscape or in their network, okay, for the existing interfaces or to develop new interfaces, only 20% of the customers are currently using CPI, whereas remaining 80% of the customers are still using PIPO in their landscape, because they are using PIPO from many years in their landscape for all their integrations, and it is not an easy task for any customer to migrate all their interfaces from PIPO to CPI in a single go. They have to do it across multiple phases, and
I
it might take.
understand that going
Okay,
to
let me
cloud is not
complete.
a simple
Uh,
task.
yeah, let me complete first. So, keeping that in mind, going forward, there are more customers which are coming into cloud integration space, where it will give us a lot of opportunities for more consultants. So, whoever is working in PIPO currently, they also will be migrating, or they also will be learning CPA, and they'll be moving to CPI skill set going forward. Okay, or there is a chance for you as a newcomer who might wants to change your domain and wants to pursue a career in CPA, that can be done. Okay, so there is a scope for you. So don't think that many people will come, and then you might not be having chance. You have to prove yourself as an integration consultant. You have to prove yourself that you have that skill which will help that particular customer or that particular requirement, so that you can do some work for that particular requirement, and then complete it according to the customer what they need. Okay, so every consultant has to prove them, because we have to have that skill, right? We need to have that skill for CPA or PIPO or API management or any other integration skill set. It can be CIG or anything it can be. We need to have that skill set. If the customer really need that skill, we need to have that, so that we can be part of that particular project and then work on it. Okay.
Okay, I understand what you're talking about. Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah, tell me, if I don't answer your question, I'll try to answer it.
No, my question is entirely different. Let's go ahead. Okay.
Okay, fine. So anyone else?
Ash, this is Ramesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, regarding openings in the current market, will they ask any additional requirement, something like CPA with the above or CPA with SD, something like that, or can we get directly CPA openings to get into the market? Could you suggest?
No, basically, if you are like requirement is for integration consultant, they'll be asking you only about CPA or PAPO. It depends on the requirement. Okay, so some of the requirements will be having both the PIPO and CPA, and some might be asking only for CPA. Okay, so
Okay,
they'll not ask you for a combination of a CPA and other functional module as SD or any other technical skill as ABAP. They'll not ask you. But there are cases where people will work on both skills as a CPA and ABAP if needed. That's part of inside the organization. But generally, if you go to any interviews, they'll not ask you like that. If you're having that additional knowledge, that will really help you. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Okay, so we'll be having these sessions on daily basis from morning on every weekday, from morning 7 to 8. Okay, and these sessions will be for around 6 to 7 weeks. We'll be having sessions for around 35 sessions at a max. So we'll try to complete them around 30 to 35 sessions, depending on the speed that we cover these topics. Okay, and every day we'll be having hands-on session. Whatever the topic that we discuss, I'll be doing hands-on session on that particular topic. I'll be explaining the topic, and then I'll be doing the hands-on session at the same time, so that you can practice the same on the same day, and then come up with some questions if you have any for the next session. Okay, so that's it about the sessions that we're going to have in the coming weeks. Okay then. So if you don't have any other questions, I'll close it for today. Uh, Thank you all for attending this session, and hope to see you all in the next coming session, so that we'll try to learn all these CPA concepts, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks.
Praveen.
Thank you all.